Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hold on now. I've got my water. I got my water. Hello. Hello. Get your waving emojis out, guys. Get your waving emojis out. Get your little waving. Get your little waving emojis. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi. 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 Okay. So, this space is going to be a bit different. I'm putting it out there. It's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit different. Because basically I'm going to be talking about Marceline and bubblegum, right? Kay's inspired me, all right? Kay's inspired me. Z was talking about it on the timeline, and I was like, I need to talk about it now. I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it now. So basically, I want you guys to do me a massive favor, okay? If you guys have never watched Adventure Time, if you've never watched Adventure Time, I am putting a warning out here. When I talk about Adventure Time, I'm going to okay. I don't know why I'm putting a warning out there. I'm just saying I'm gonna get very high pitched. I'm not high pitched, but I'm gonna stop speaking fast because usually I do that when I talk about it because I get really interested and passionate about it. So I'm just putting it out there. So if you guys can't pay attention to what I'm saying, maybe go back and the reason I'm talking about this, guys, is because there is a lot about Adventure Time that I've done a stream. I've done a 4-hour stream about Adventure Time before. We're gonna do a space today. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, okay? Can you guys hear me well? Can you guys hear me good? Can you guys hear me good? Let me reply. I'm talking about my gay people. So welcome. Like I said, big shout out to Kay. Z really like what's the word? Zeke really got me on this. I'm gonna be real. Me was like, "Hey, Amy, Adventure Time," and I was like, "Hey, you get me." Okay, so Adventure Time. As you guys know, in Adventure Time, we are met with all these cool, wacky little characters. However, if you dig underneath the surface of the layer we have, there is a lot that we can tell. There's a lot of underlying messages, is what I'm trying to say. Which obviously, from a normal audience point of view, you can see it as just it's normal. It's just it's just normal. But then if you look at it from a kind of analysis point of view of like, oh, they're doing this because of this, which is referencing this thing, we see Bubbline in a completely different light. If you guys don't know who Bubbline are, it is Marceline and Bubblegum, okay? Marceline and Bubblegum from Adventure Time. We first see them. Together interacting in the episode Go With Me. By the way, guys, I'm going to be doing this all from memory because I'm currently sitting in my bed holding an AirPod. So I'm probably going to get some things wrong, but I've done this essay so many times. I'm just going to try my best. We first see them in the episode Go With Me, which is basically an episode where we see Marceline and Bubblegum interact for the first time. However, it is a negative interaction because basically we see Marcy. Basically, Finn is asking Marcy and Jake. Oh, no, yeah, Finn is asking Marcy and Jake for help on how to ask Bubblegum out to the dance, right? Basically, the relationship between Bubblegum and Finn, very platonic, in a sense of Bubblegum's way too old for Finn. It's more of like an authority kind of crush from Finn's side per se. Never to be together in the sense of how they're aged in this current moment, right? And so Finn kind of wants that kind of like Finn wants to be with Bubblegum. So they basically he asks Marcy and Jake for help because he's not getting anywhere, and Marcy's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll help. So as a viewer, we're kind of like, oh, this is the first time we're gonna see these characters interact. This is gonna be so interesting. And basically, Marcy has the idea of going outside Bubblegum's window and like doing something, and it's a very good interaction for first time viewer because basically Bubblegum goes, hey Finn, and then is like really kind of pissed off and is like, "Oh, hey, Marceline," and then basically Marcy's kind of mocking her because she returns and goes, "Hello, Bonnabelle," and that's the first time we see Bubblegum get called Bonnabelle. Well, no, that's the first time we see Bubblegum get called anything that isn't princess, right? So in that moment, we immediately know that there is history between those two, and the history is something that is like it's probably before they've known each other since before Bubblegum was a princess, right? Or before Bubblegum was in the title of the Candy Kingdom and the authority, yada 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 yada, right? So it's awesome. And we carry it on, right? So that's the moment we see. And basically the funny thing about that episode is that Marceline is giving Finn really bad advice. Um, is giving really bad advice because Bubblegum hates everything that they do. And if, for example, Marceline's like, "Oh, you need to do some risk stuff." Yeah, yeah, she's gonna love that. And the funny thing about that is that obviously Bubblegum doesn't like risk. Marceline knows that. And it's kind of like Marceline setting Finn up to not get the date. And as a viewer, you're kind of like, "Oh my god, that's crazy. Why would she do that?" We know why she'd do that. We know why she'd do that. Come on now. We know why we know. We know. We know. We get it. We get it. We get it. Okay, we get it. And so it's so basically then they there's a few filler episodes going up to now. We're gonna skip to season 3 now, okay? So from that episode, you guys still with me? I hope you guys are still with me. We're carrying on. From that episode, that is the first time we see their interaction, and it is obviously a negative interaction, which is leaving the viewers kind of being like, "Hey, what happened there? Then what happened in their past? There's obviously something that's happened, and it must have been before. Like it must have been way before Bubblegum was a princess because he doesn't refer to her as princess. He refers to her as Bonnabelle. Um, then we move into the episode, which is called What Was Missing. Okay? This episode, oh, it's a good episode. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It's a good fucking episode. Um, and basically, in the episode What Was Missing, this is a very popular episode. I'm pretty sure this is the second most popular Adventure Time episode ever. And there is a lot in this episode that kind of confirms a lot. If you're actively looking for the things in an episode, this episode does confirm a lot for their relationship. However, it's also something that you can then mention and be like, "Oh, but could be seen in a friend way." So keep that in mind. But obviously, we know it's canon, right? Because obviously of how the relationship has progressed. So in this episode, what was missing? There is a door lord. There's a door lord that's going around everyone's houses and stealing their most important thing. And we see at the start of the episode where Finn is jumping through these portals that the door lord's put in to go through all these places, and they're basically going to around. They're doing the rounds. Basically, he's doing the rounds, and he's getting these most important things. And then they go through Bubblegum's house, Marcy's house, and Jake and Finn's tree house. Obviously, BMO with BMO, and then they're all following and the door shuts, right? The door shuts. And basically, now they're kind of like, shit. Okay, well, they're not like shit because, it's a cartoon. But they're like, oh no. They're like, oh no, this is bad. And this door shuts, and then like a message comes on the door, which is basically indicating that the door will shut, but they've got to figure out how to open it, right? They got to figure out how to open it because they need to get their prized possessions back because each of them have had something stolen from them, right? And this is like their most prized possession. You're gonna remember that, guys. Like this is the door lord steals whatever the person's most prized possession is, right? Right? You gotta remember that. You guys remembering that? Remember that. So the episode continues. We see a bit of bickering between Bubblegum and Marceline. For example, there is a good part where basically Finn's like, "What the hell is going on?" Finn's like, "What is this? What is this gripper grab? Like, what's going on?" And Bubblegum goes, "It's the door of the door lords, Finn. But we kept them locked up, but they just kept getting out." And then Marcy goes, "No, they kept getting out because you let them live," which is obviously an insinuation to the fact that they've kind of battled these things before. Not battled them before, but in a sense of Marcy and Bubblegum have both kind of done this before, or they've done things before. So that's another indication to the fact that they've been around for a very long time, and also a very long time together. Okay. They've been with each other a very long time together, right? And so they in this episode, it's very, 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 very awesome, right? Because in the first kind of attempt to figure out what is going on, um it's such a good scene, guys. I'm smiling, I can't get over it. um Basically, they begin, they're all talking and stuff like that, right? And they're thinking, like, how are we going to be able to do this, right? And Marceline, oh, no, 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 Finn comes up with the idea of music, right? And starts, like, playing with his mouth and blah, 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 like, going like that. But then Marcy goes, like, watch me go. There's a before this happened, though, there is a bit of bickering between Marcy and Bubblegum, just natural like bickering, right? And then Marcy then gets her bass and starts singing. This is the song "I'm Just Your Problem," and I'm assuming a lot of you guys know what the song is, right? You know what the song is, right? And she sings a song which is called which is, "I'm Just Your Problem," and basically, if you guys don't know the song, it's basically it's basically a huge dig at Bubblegum. The entire song is, and Bubblegum knows this. Because the entire time that it's singing, it's panning to Bubblegum, and Bubblegum's just like gobsmacked. Bubblegum's not saying anything; she's just listening to Marceline. And the song is basically about like, um, bear, like it's like, um, uh. Sorry, I don't treat you like a goddess, right? Is that what you want me to do? Sorry, sorry, I'm not made of sugar, like all your little loyal servants do. Sorry, I'm not made of sugar. Am I not sweet enough for you? Is that, and then it's like, is that why you always avoid me? It's so sad, dude. It's so fucking sad. Because it is a very clear indication now from the first episode that we were on about, that they knew each other before Bubblegum became authority and before Bubblegum became in power. And obviously we know that because she goes, like, it's very upsetting, and it's kind of like she kind of Bubblegum changed in a sense, like, why, is that why you always avoid me? um am I just an inconvenience to you? And then Marcy carries on singing the song, um talking about just carrying on singing, yada yada yada. And basically, at this point, the door is starting to open. Okay, nobody understands why. Nobody knows why, but the door is starting to open as Marcy's singing. It's kind of confusing because it's like, oh my god, Marcy is literally completely slating Bubblegum here. Why is the door opening? What is the correlation, right? And basically, Marcy starts singing, and she's singing about how she wants to make up with Bubblegum, but she doesn't want to be the one that does it, right? She starts singing. She's like, why should I be the one to make up with you? Because why do I want to? And kind of insinuating that, like, Marceline kind of being here, like, Bubblegum, you're in the wrong, bitch. You know what I mean? So Marceline carries on, and then Marceline gets flustered. Marceline kind of stops herself. It's kind of like, if you ever catch yourself being vulnerable, where you've got to, like, immediately backtrack, where you're like, and you start, like, stuttering, like, like, it's that. Marceline does that. Because she catches a glimpse of Bubblegum, and then she goes, I mean, why do I want to, bury you? You know what I mean? Like, she completely changes her tone, and the door stops. The door stops opening. It goes closed. So what we've got from that is basically Marceline has just completely and utterly, like, just completely and utterly, right? Oh my god! I remember I remember this art. Sorry, guys. Look at this fan art. Look at this fan art. This is very, very, very funny. Basically, we're wondering now as the audience. I'm gonna keep saying as the audience, right? And basically, we at this point we're kind of like, this is confusing. Why did the door stop? Two, why did the door even open when Marceline started singing? So, after that, Marceline goes, like, straight for Bubblegum, right? And is like, her cheeks are red, not red, but they're kind of flustered. And she goes, "Ah, you threw me off!" Like, she's really pissed off. She's like, "You threw me off because you looking at me." And obviously, it's like, it's funny, the dynamic changing, because as she started singing it, she was dead locking Bubblegum in the eyes, not stopping. And at the end, then she was upset that Bubblegum was listening, right? Right? And it's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. You were being vulnerable and you were upset about it because you realize, you know what I mean? And like, it's again really truthful. So then then they start doing a bit of bonding. It's kind of cute, actually. Basically, Jake has like a joking freak out, and like leaves the band, quote unquote. And Finn gets some noodles, and they have noodles. Bubblegum, Marceline, and Finn, they all have noodles, and it's like, all cute. And then Bubblegum is like, "Oh, let me try a song," and basically the song completely fails because Bubblegum starts trying to do calculations and mathematics in a weird attempt to like make it, in a weird attempt to try and not a weird attempt, sorry, but in her own way try and fix the situation because she thinks she can fix any situation as long as she's got like the math, the numbers, the calculation, that kind of way, right? That's the way Bubblegum thinks. So Bubblegum starts making everyone do calculations, specific tunes, specific notes because she thinks she can crack the code. It busts. BMO goes on fire. But obviously he's fine. BMO, a little guy's fine. They're fine. However, this makes Marceline rebuttal and basically go straight for Bubblegum's neck and goes, "Guess you aren't as perfect as you thought. Guess you can't judge me anymore." And obviously, in that moment, we're like, "Hello, hello." Like, why did you say that now? And it's very, very, very cool. It's very, very, not cool, but it's a very good moment because it's the minute that Bubblegum does something wrong, right? It's the minute that Bubblegum does something wrong in Marceline's eyes as well as other people's eyes that makes Marceline snap. And she goes, you know, "Guess you aren't as perfect as you thought. Guess you can't judge me anymore." And it's like, oh, that's what this is about. And obviously, then we think about the song. We think about the "Sorry, I'm gonna treat you like a goddess." Is that what I'm supposed to do? And it's like, oh, this is a power dynamic. It's a power struggle. We're seeing two people who, for example, we have Bubblegum, who's meant to be this authority figure, who's meant to be this perfect like idea of like role model, yada yada yada. And then we have Marceline, however, who's this like punk little rocker, um, and it's being shown more on Marcy's side that she's more hurt. And that's probably because it was on Bubblegum's side that they stopped talking, which I'll get into in a little bit. So we move on from this part where Bubblegum rebuttals that immediately. Marceline goes, "I guess you aren't as perfect as thought. Guess you can't judge me anymore." And Bubblegum shouts back in her face and goes, "I never said you had to be perfect." And it is like a really angry line. It's a really rolled line. It's a really angry one. She literally goes, "I never said you had to be perfect," right? And it's really harrowing, right? And at that point, it's not actually. Ironically, this isn't in the actual show anymore, but it's in like if you have it on DVD, it's in that. But basically, Marceline actually spits on Bubblegum, and Bubblegum walks away. I think that, in my opinion, I think that's that way. It's the way of Cotton Egg, kind of like it was tension, and I'm assuming Marceline's obviously not really good with tension because when Marceline gets upset, we've seen in previous episodes, Marceline tends to kind of use not violence, but usually uses her base, right, and she hits stuff. So in my opinion, that was Cotton Eggs' watered down version of trying to like if she were to slap her or she were to like actually like be genuinely upset with her, right? Because Bubblegum turning around going, "I never said you had to be perfect," was probably a really big slap in the face to Marceline, because in her eyes, the reason they stopped talking was because Marceline wasn't as good. It wasn't good enough for her. So being told by that person to be like, "Oh, but I never said you had to be like that," it's like, oh, piss off, you know what I mean? And that's why it's a really sad moment. It's a really, really sad moment. And then Bubblegum walks away. Marceline starts crying and says, "I'm out of here too." And they leave. Everyone leaves. However, before they start leaving, right, this is where it gets interesting. Before they start leaving, they what's the word? Finn starts singing, right? Finn starts singing, and he starts singing a song about how like he's the thing he lost, basically the most prized possession to him was a lock of Bubblegum's hair. Yada yada yada. Meh, meh, meh. And it's basically because I'm not gonna get into the lock of the hair. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of like a comfort thing for him, right? You got to remember that she's made out of bubblegum as well, so it's not like an actual piece of hair, but it's like a comfort thing that he was given. Anyway, so as he starts singing about that, right? And as he's singing about that, the door starts opening, and he's like, and then he goes, "That's what was missing, right? The truth." And he starts singing an entire song about Marcy, Bubblegum, and Jake. Like a nice little friendship song. It's very cute. It's very cute. It's like, what am I? It's called "What Am I to You." It's like, am I a joke, a knight, or your brother? So, for example, the joke would be Marceline, the knight would be Bubblegum, and then the brother would be Jake. Yada 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 yada. Song goes on, and the door opens. Right now, we know the door was listening to the truth. Correct. Right now, we know the door was listening to the truth, and whatever the truth, like if you sung the truth, that's why it was opening. So now we know that Marceline really does want to make up with Bubblegum, and the reason why the door closed is because she stopped because she was scared and she got vulnerable. So because she was like, oh, I mean, I want to bury you in the ground because she was scared. Now, this is where we get to 0 to 100, baby. If you think we've spoken about a lot, you're about to get in. You're in for a treat. So now we go into the door, right? And it's very, very funny moment. The door lord gets like wrapped up, and they start getting their stuff back. And basically what's it? Jake lost. No, BMO lost the little controller, right? His little controller. Obviously Finn lost the lock of his hair. And then Jake pulls out a rock shirt and goes, "Here's your rock shirt, Marceline." And Marcy goes, "Wait, that's not." And Bubblegum intercepts and goes, "Oh, that's mine. That's mine." Really embarrassed. And then we're like, "Oh." And then Marcy goes really lowly and starts blushing and goes, "You kept the shirt I gave you?" And Marcy goes, "Yeah, it no." And Bubblegum goes, "Yeah, it means a lot to me." And then looks away and is really embarrassed, right? And Marcy then goes, "But you never wear it." And then Bubblegum goes, "No, I wear it all the time as pajamas." Oh my god! Did you hear that? Did you hear what I just said? Did you guys hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There is so much depth. Oh my god. Bro! Jaw dropped. Jaw goddamn dropped. Send an ambulance. Send an ambulance for me, for real. It is such a good moment because it literally I'm gonna repeat it. Basically, you gotta remember, guys, this is their most prized possessions. And Bubblegum is a fucking ruler, right? Bubblegum is a princess. There could have been so many things, and the most prized possession to her was a shirt that Marceline gave her that she kept all of these years. And it's also, you see them both blush, which is kind of like, oh, interesting. Mutual pun in 140k word slogan, lovers to enemies to lovers. I fucking know, Jay, I know. Literally jaw-droppingly amazing. I know. Trust me, I know. It's crazy. I know. It's crazy. Don't even talk to me. Don't even talk. Guys, literally call me an ambulance. I need to be brought back to life because I'm struggling right now. And it is so goddamn good. And basically, then after that episode, and then basically Jake goes, "Wait, but Marceline, there's nothing for you." And then we find out that Marceline just wanted to hang out with everyone again. More importantly, probably wanted to hang out with Bubblegum again because she hasn't had the chance. You got to remember, Marceline's a very stubborn character, right? And if Marceline thought that Bubblegum was avoiding her, which we found out from the song, that's probably why she stopped reaching out. So she was very stubborn. But if she had the excuse to hang out with her, she was going to. And that's why she hung out, she didn't even have any prized possession that was stolen because she already beat the door lord before he could. How sad is that? How sad is that? How sad is that, though? I know. It's really sad. Oh, it's really sad. And basically then, all right, there's a lot of episodes after this that kind of, I will never understand how people didn't know that they were canon from this, not canon, but didn't think they were a thing before this point, right? Because the minute that I saw them in the first episode, not the first episode, in the episode Go With Me, I knew. I was like, there's 100% something that's gone on there. And I knew from what was missing too. But anyway, then we move on to the episode, which is God, ow, like I got pins and needles. Sky Witch. All right, I've explained this episode a couple of times when talking about them. Okay, we're skipping to season 4 now. Season 4, season 5, right? There's some episodes in between that are like hinted at them, blah blah blah. However, this is a very important one. This is Sky Witch. Okay, in Sky Witch, everyone, this is a very good episode. So, it starts with Marceline. It starts with Bubblegum. Sorry, testing this thing out on some of the candy people as well as Finn and Jake. And then Bubblegum comes in. No, Marceline comes in through the window. And basically, jumps in the window and goes, "No time for chit chat. Let's hang out right now." And Bubblegum goes, "I don't know. I'm kind of busy." And Marcy goes, and then basically Bubblegum isn't busy at this point, by the way. And Marcy goes, "I mean, I just want to spend some quality time with you." And then basically the reality of it is the Sky Witch, Marja the Sky Witch, has basically taken Hambo. I'm gonna give you guys a real quick rundown on Hambo. Hambo is a gift that was given to Marceline during the Mushroom War. With basically, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Well, no, I will. I'm gonna spoil it. I'm sorry. You listen to a Bubbling Space. What are you gonna say? Basically, Simon. Oh, you know what? What's easier? I will just not explain who Simon is. So Simon, who is kind of Marceline's father figure, because her actual father figure is a demon who also doesn't really know emotions, but also ate her fries once. It's a whole lore thing. Is it basically her father figure gave it to her when she was a little girl during the Mushroom War because she lost everybody. And this little Hambo is a stuffed animal that she kept onto her for years. You gotta remember, Martin's a very old, right? And so is Bubblegum, and she kept on it for all these years, right? Most prized possession given to her by her father figure, who she lost because he forgot about her. Very important, right? You guys listen to this. That's a very important thing. So Bubblegum is like, okay, I'm gonna help you. I'll help you get it back. I'll help you get Hambo back. Well, no, she doesn't know that it's a Hambo yet. She just knows that they're trying to find Marja, right? So they start going on this adventure. It's very cute. On the way, and then Marceline realizes it's for Hambo because they see a delusion of him, and Bubblegum goes, "Oh, this for blah blah blah." And she goes, blah blah blah, and then it's like bickering. They're like having a bit of bickering. You got to remember, at this point, they're still kind of like, at this point they're talking again, because from the What Was Missing episode, it kind of brought up a lot of unspoken feelings, and then they kind of like speaking, kind of not. And as the episode goes, they get to the Sky Witch place. They get to the place, and basically they break, like they split up, and Bubblegum actually runs into Marja first, right? Marceline runs into Marja first, and it's interesting, right? Um, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Oh my god, Mary, you're so right. Fuck, Mary. Oh my god, guys, I completely forgot about this moment. Basically, at the start of this episode, at the start of Sky Witch, right? God, how could I forget? At the start of Sky Witch, right? At the start of Sky Witch, completely forgot about this. Oh yeah, this would have. I probably would have. Okay, Mara, I probably would have referenced this when this what I was about to explain what's going to happen. Basically, guys, at the start of this episode, right before I mentioned all this, before Marceline and Bubblegum interact in this episode, the episode starts off with Bubblegum waking up, and she's in. Obviously, you got to remember, in the What Was Missing episode, what did she say she slept in? Marceline's t-shirt. And basically, it starts in the episode. Bubblegum's waking up. She's in Marceline's rock shirt. She wakes up. She smells the shit, right? She smells the shit because it's on her, and she wakes up. And then she goes to the closet to get changed, and there's a Polaroid of Bubblegum and Marceline in the closet. In the closet, okay? Take that as you will. In the closet, right? That's the start of the episode. Remember, she's literally wearing the shirt, right? She sniffs it, gay. And she opens the closet to get changed to actual clothes, and basically the Polaroid is there. And it's so gay. It's so gay, dude. It's so goddamn gay. But basically now we're gonna revert back, guys. Okay, so now we're going back to the original point I was making. Bubblegum finds the witch first before Marceline is able to. And basically, she starts asking, like, how did you get it? And it turns out that Marceline's ex-boyfriend, Ash, we don't mention Ash, we don't like Ash, actually sold it to her. And basically, the way that basically Bubblegum then is like, oh, I'll just buy it off you. But the way that Marja the Sky Witch works is that you can't just buy off it. You've got to trade. It's like whatever's, because Marja works off of psychic resonance, right? Whatever means sentimental value, right? So whatever means the most to a person. And basically, Bubblegum rebuttals that and is like, I, as somebody who works in like who's in the kingdom, I've got to accept that, and I will trade you. You just don't. Basically, we don't know what Bubblegum traded at this point, but all we know is Bubblegum has got Hambo. Bubblegum throws it to Marceline and goes, how did you get it? And Bubblegum goes, don't worry about it, right? It's basically kind of like, hey, don't worry, it's fine, it's chill, my bad. And they go home. However, the end of the episode, we find out because one of the crows, which is one of the sky, it's one of Marja's like little minions, is kind of like, oh, they got away. And Marja goes, no, I let them. And the crow's like, why? What the fuck? You know, that Hambo guy was like the most psychic resonance you could get ever. It's the most sentimental value ever. Not, he didn't say that, but that's kind of like what the point is. And Marja pulls out the rock shit and goes, Hambo has nothing on what sentimental values on this. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what happens. Basically, Marja pulls it out and goes, Hambo doesn't equate to the psychic resonance on this, baby. And she smells it and she goes, ooh, sentimental freshness, right? I need to reiterate real quick. Do you guys remember what Hambo was? This fucking stuffed animal that was given to Marceline as a baby during a war when she lost everything, that was given to her by her father figure who forgot her, wasn't worth more sentimentally than a rock shit that Marceline gave Bubblegum. Now, what have we learned? Gay people exist. So, we're carrying on. It's crazy. It's fucking mental. It's crazy, right? Because it's crazy how that can equate to more, right? It's crazy how that can equate to more. And it's like, oh my god. It's so good. So after this episode, right, we're going to skip to, I'm trying to think what we can skip to. There's a bit of filler episodes, Marcy and Bubblegum, very cute. We're gonna Stakes miniseries. We're gonna skip to the Stakes miniseries, right? And the Stakes miniseries, one of my favorite miniseries. It's very, 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 very grand. It's very good. And basically in it, we have Marcy and Bubblegum. Basically, Marcy is struggling with being a vampire. She's struggling with vampirism a lot. And it's coming to the point where Marcy can't deal with it. So Marcy meets up with Bubblegum and is like, hey, let's talk, right? And she's like all burnt from the sun, and she's like, I want you to do the procedure. And then Bubblegum kind of is like, I don't think you'd make a good blonde, right? Just joking about it, right? But they both know what they're on about. And Marceline is like, I don't want to be a vampire anymore. I've had to be a vampire for too long, you know what I mean? And not too long, but Marceline's been a vampire since she was very young, like a teenager, right? And it's, it's very sad, but she wants to actually be a normal person. She can't deal with it anymore. And basically Bubblegum goes, you do realize this means that, you do this. This means one day you're gonna die. And Bubblegum goes, well, that's something I'm gonna have to like adapt to. And then Bubblegum goes, when that happens, I'll be the one that puts you in the ground. Meaning, basically insinuating that, Bubblegum's gonna be like the one that stays with Marceline until old age. Oh, fuck. Also, I mentioned about the shirt, by the way, guys. Remember, but going back to the shirt, you gotta remember, and even that means that the shirt meant so much to Bubblegum. Her number one prized possession ever, and she gave it away so Marceline could be happy. Back to where we were. So, it's very sad. And basically, she's like, I'll be the one that puts you in the ground. And the procedure works. Yada yada yada. There's a lot of moments in the miniseries I'm gonna skim over because I want to get to I'm gonna get to one end point soon. Not one end point, but something. Basically, there's a lot that happens during the series, the Stakes miniseries. And especially the Stakes. I really want you guys, even if you haven't watched Adventure Time, watch the Stakes miniseries. It is so good. It is so good. So good, right? Also, by the way, we're going to be discussing Stakes first, and then we're going to be discussing Varmints. Okay, I'm going in that order because it's easier for me to explain something. Basically, in the Stakes miniseries, because Marceline wipes her vampirism, it makes all of the vampires come back. You got to remember, Marceline was like the last vampire because she was a vampire hunter. But the problem was when she finally defeated the last vampire, he bit her, and sadly, she became a vampire, right? And they all come back because it's out there in the open. As the Stakes miniseries goes by, we have moments where basically Marceline is being her edgy self, being like, I don't want help. I want to do this all by myself. And then Bubblegum's like, no, LOL, you're stuck with me. So with Finn and Jake, obviously, they help her as well. There's a moment that is very, very important. Basically, Marceline and Bubblegum are doing jumping jacks. And Marceline before this had a dream. She had a dream that basically she was old, right? She was old. I'm assuming. Well, we know from analysis of the dream that basically it's Marceline dreaming as if like she never when she didn't get turned, she was still a human. She is a human, and it's like old age. And basically, what happens in the dream is that Marcy's singing and like playing her bass. And Bubblegum comes in and kisses her head. And Bubblegum's normal. Marceline's like old, and Bubblegum's normal, and then it all melts, and it all goes, and then basically Bubblegum's they're doing jumping jacks, and Marceline starts talking about it and goes, I had a dream about you when I was in my poison coma. I was all withered and grim, and you were still nice and pink. And Bubblegum stops doing jumping jacks and starts blushing and goes, you think I'm nice? And then looks away and goes and gets flustered and goes, oh damn, I lost count. And then Marceline's kind of like not delirious, but she's like purposely not picking up on it and goes, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. I was getting bored anyways. And then goes, I've got this weird feeling in my tummy. And then Bubblegum goes, oh, is it fear? Right? You got to remember the only two people who are around at this point are Marceline and Bubblegum. Back to it. Bubblegum goes, oh, is it fear? And then Bubblegum goes, Marceline goes, no, I know what that feels like. Maybe it's love? Deep breaths, everyone. We need to have a conversation. We need to talk about this. 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 We need to calm down. Everyone need to calm down. We need to calm down right now, okay? We need to calm down right now. Why would Marceline, a woman, say that to another woman? I'll tell you. You don't even have to answer me. Gay. Lesbians, gay. Yum, lesbians. Marceline is gay. Marceline sits there at night and goes, yum, bubblegum, yum, woman. Okay, sorry. I had to get that out there. Basically. And then the minute that she says that, basically Bubblegum Marceline gets hungry, and she realizes no, it's because she's hungry. But the problem is she never felt being hungry before. And because she was with Bubblegum, she automatically thought it was love that she was feeling. It's a bit fruity, babe. It is. God, it's so good. And basically, we're gonna continue now. Also, I'm gonna check, Mara. Do you think PB has so much sentimental to the ship because Marceline is like a freedom of? Honestly, I think the reason Bubblegum has so much sentimental value to the ship is one because of it. Well, one is because it's Marceline's. You know, it's Marceline's shit, and two, I completely agree. I always thought that it's the fact that this was before she had to be anything. Bubblegum and Marceline were a thing before Bubblegum had that authority figure as much as she did. She always had that authority since she was young, but before she had to actually be something as important as she is now. And I think that she clings on to that because it was like, you know, it's it's hers, and it's like what they used to be, and it's like everything they could have been if Bubblegum, well, quote unquote, didn't focus on work, you know. Anyway, so it's a very very cute feeling, very 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 cute moment. And basically, oh my god, wait, is this a video from it? Oh, everyone, look at this video that I just tagged. Everyone, look at this. Okay, everyone, stop what you're doing. Look at the video that I just put onto the thing. I forgot about this. I forgot about this. I forgot about this video. That is me basically right now. I'm gonna be real with you. 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 Yeah. So yeah, I'm gay. I'm lesbian gay. Anyway, proceeding. Um, so we just had that moment where she's like, maybe it's love. She's just hungry. LOL. You know, I can use it too. And we move on to in the Stakes miniseries now. We're getting to. Well, I'm gonna push to the end because I really want to get into varmints, right? In At the end, basically, Marcy becomes a vampire again, right? And she goes, it's very very cute actually. Basically, Marcy goes, hey, I guess we get to hang out forever, to Bubblegum, and Bubblegum starts blushing. And it is one of the cutest moments just because it's such an ode to the fact that now they're both immortal again together. And honestly, I honestly always thought the reason Master Bubblegum was not like reluctant to do the procedure, but one of the reasons is because she didn't want to have the idea of like having to actually watch Marceline grow old. Because they've always been immortal, it was like their thing. I think there was a bit of truth in Bubblegum kind of like not wanting it. And that's why when it's so fucking cute when she's like, I guess we get to hang out forever. And it's like such a cute little like, oh shit, now they're back to being immortal again. Um and it's so good. It's so good. So basically now we're gonna get on to my favorite episode ever. This is Varmints, okay? I'm not joking, you guys, when I say I can quote Varmints all of the episode. It is a good episode. If you guys were on Gucky's subathon when Gucky was asleep, I was quoting the entire thing, right? Basically, Varmints, my favorite episode ever. Season 2, episode 2. No, season 7, episode 2. Absolutely beautiful episode. This episode solidifies everything we need to know about Bubbline, their relationship, their past relationship. It literally solidifies them, right? In ways that we can't canonize it before it was actually canon. It basically just shows that they had a past, a very big past, and also shows that they liked each other because a lot of moments. Basically, Varmints. We're at season. This is after. And basically with this is where Marceline and Bubblegum are actually they're fully talking again now, right? It's from season 1 where Marceline and Bubblegum were very bitter. It was very obvious they were bitter exes. To now they're at that stage where it's like way more than friends, but just a little bit less than lovers again. And it's very very cute. It's very cute, and it's like Marceline just can't get enough of being around Bubblegum. And Marceline starts flying. Marceline goes to Bubblegum, and they've been hanging out. It's insinuated they were hanging out a lot before this moment, right? Marceline flies to Bubblegum's castle, and is like, ironically, she's singing "I'm Just Your Problem," right? And she's like humming it, and she goes to, and she goes, "Hey, Bubblegum, you want to come out?" Like basically been like, "Hey, do you want to come out?" Right? But however, Bubblegum's not there because she's been throne jacked, basically meaning somebody has kind of taken the throne. And basically in that, one second. Yeah. And basically in that, and Marcin gets a bit upset. Marcin's like, "Hey, why didn't you tell me?" So Marcin goes all the way to Bubblegum, and she basically is like, ironically, Bubblegum quite funny, is quite funny actually, is because Bubblegum goes, "Oh, hey, Marceline," just like so nonchalant. And then we have Marceline who goes, "Bonnabelle!" And she shouts it, and she's like, "Why didn't you tell me you got throne jacked? I had to hear it from that wax fraud." And she's like really pissed off about it. And Bubblegum's kind of reason is kind of like, I wanted to wait. I haven't wanted to tell anyone because I was like embarrassed about it. And she was like, and then basically Marceline makes a point of like she's rational, so she talked about it. And Bubblegum goes, "Yeah, because you're so dang rational." And then it's like obviously insinuating like, because Marceline's very hot headed. And they start talking about it, and Marceline's like, "You could have spoken to me about it." And Bubblegum's just like, "I was embarrassed, because." But I did it myself. Like I didn't, this didn't like, I didn't get fired. I didn't get, pushed out. I left myself because I had enough. And basically though, however, at this point, it's basically they're kind of talking, they're chilling, and the reason why they are being kept up, is because there's varmints, and they're kind of like little bug creatures, little buggy boys, right? Little buggy boys. And these varmints are like kind of terrorizing Bubblegum's pumpkin patch where she's living. She's living in a little cottage. It's very cute, very gay. Living in a little cottage area kind of thing. This is before stakes, but I want to reference something in this. Basically in this, she what's the word? She Bubblegum and Marcy are kind of chatting, and Marcy's kind of like, "Oh, I'm gonna just wait with you because what else am I gonna do, right?" One sec. I'm. One sec. I'm gonna text. Okay. So basically, Martin's like, "Oh yeah, like I'll just stay and wait with you because I'm in love with you." But it's fine. She doesn't actually say that. But she's kind of just she's just she's little gay. Okay, she's a little bit of gay. She's a little gay. All right, she's a little gay, and so she kind of just like, "Oh fine, I'm gonna wait. It's fine. I'll wait with you." And what happens here is that they start like they're talking, having a good time, having a bit of chitter chatter. I will say a little bit of gay chitter chatter. And the varmints come back, and basically Bubblegum's like, "Oh, I've got you now," and starts going after it. Right? And what's very sweet in this moment is like Bubblegum's like, Marceline immediately is getting up to fight, right? And they find out where the varmint hole is, and they go into it, and they're kind of shocked because they enter the Candy Kingdom rubble tunnels, right, where they used to like drag things through the Candy Kingdom, like back like ages, like years and years and years ago, where they used to like travel things underground. However, this is also the place where Bubblegum and Marceline used to hang out when they were young, quote unquote, when they were like kind of. I like to think it's when they were becoming a thing, because it's very, very, very like it's in the way that it's insinuated at this point. And basically they walk around, and Marceline's like, um, Marceline is like, "Oh my god, this is where we used to hang." Um, and we used to like tag things basically, and Bubblegum goes, "No, I think it's you. It's me who caught you vandalizing my property." And Marceline goes, "Yeah, but I got you to tag something, didn't I? I bet we could find it." And they start walking down the Candy Kingdom rubble, and there is a drop, right? And obviously Marceline can float, so Marceline floats over it, and then Bubblegum kind of has these like this big gear kind of thing, like she has this like no, she has gear, like it's like a floating feet thing, and she kind of flies over it. Marceline jokingly goes, Bonnabelle Bubblegum always so prepared, like poking fun at her, right? And goes, Bonnabelle Bubblegum always so prepared. And then Bubblegum gets quite upset at that comment and goes, yeah, I always have to be always so prepared because you can't all just wing it. Ooh, interesting response, little Bubblegum. Interesting little response, you. Um, because it's very funny. Now we are seeing Bubblegum, who is kind of like we obviously all we've seen so far is Marceline and the way that she's upset and the way that they distance themselves, right? Bubblegum distance, also the authority problems we've already got, and then having a Bubblegum like having Bonnabelle immediately rebuttal that and be like, yeah, I always have to be prepared because you can't all just wing it. It's very strong, right? It's a very strong thing to just immediately kind of go, oh shit. And as an audience member, you're kind of like, oh, um, because even Marceline's smile goes to a frown at this point. No, not frown, but like she's kind of straight faced. And then Bubblegum kind of stops like being upset, not being upset, but she kind of her tone changes immediately and goes to then going, the Candy Kingdom. It's kind of weird because Bubblegum, without Marceline even saying anything, Bubblegum starts explaining herself, and she goes, "The Candy Kingdom didn't used to be so small, so manageable, and then it got bigger and bigger, and there was always some new disaster to prepare against." And then Marceline goes, "Is that why you stopped talking to me?" I will drown myself in the sea. I will do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad because we have Bubblegum, who's immediately kind of like the minute that Bubblegum raises her tone at Marcy, right? She immediately rebuttals that. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to explain myself. You know, the Candy Kingdom used to be so small, so manageable. Then it got bigger and bigger, and there's always too many disaster to prepare against." Which is basically highlighting like Bubblegum's authority problem, which we already know from the past of the show. By the way, there are many, many, many instances where Bubblegum keeps herself up for like 3 days, weeks at a time to prepare, right? Like against like things or to Bubblegum's relationship with authority is really toxic because she doesn't look after herself. And one of my theories is that I believe there were times in their friendship where, well, in their relationship as well as when they broke up, when Marceline would try and check up on Bubblegum, but it's one of those things where it's like, I can't see you do this to yourself. Because it's very sad the way that Bubblegum's relationship with authority is. And I think Marceline was one of those people that's like, I love you, but I'm not going to let you do this to yourself. And if you are choosing to, I'm not going to be able to just stand here and watch because it's killing me because I love you. And basically, Marcy obviously says that thing. Marcy is like, is that why you stopped talking to me? And immediately, Bubblegum goes, no, and it's kind of it's a very, it's not a snappy one, it's kind of like a, not even offended. Bubblegum is just kind of like confused. She's like, no, and she goes to explain herself, but she doesn't really have much to say. And instead what she does, the varmint, the like queen varmint, kind of comes through and like starts attacking them, yada yada yada. Marcy and Bubblegum work as a team. It's very cute, it's very gay. They start working out, and then basically Marceline gets trapped, and then Bonnie goes, Marcy, and it's very cute. And she goes to get her. She kind of pulls pulls Marceline out from under the rubble, and they start like walking and then running. And then Bubblegum's hat gets knocked off. And then they go into this little section, and Bubblegum manages to like wheel it off with a force field, right? Now, before I start this part, have you guys ever heard of the Coke can analogy? It's my favorite analogy. Basically, what the analogy is that you have so much pent up, right? You have so much pent up, um, and the second like a little thing goes wrong, you break down. It's like, for example, if you've had so much pent up over the last like 3 months, right, and you haven't spoken about it, and then like you drop a fork on the floor and you just start sobbing, and everyone around you may be wondering, hey, why are you crying this hard over dropping a fork? Now use that example now, okay? Because basically what happens is Bubblegum finds no. Bubblegum's lost her hat and she's already quite upset, but she's not upset. That's another thing that's leading up to this point. Then they find Bubblegum's tag, her graffiti on the wall. And it evokes something in Bubblegum, right? It evokes something in Bubblegum. And basically, what's the word? Basically, Marcy sees it first and goes, oh, and then Marcy obviously turns around and goes, your tag, we found it. And then she goes, your handwriting hasn't changed at all, still as prissy and prim, and she starts to like make fun of it, but then she turns around and Bubblegum is crying. And Marcy doesn't really know why at this point. So Marcy goes up to her and goes, wait, no, I like your handwriting. I think it's really pretty. And she starts kind of blushing a little bit, but kind of more in a way that she's not blushing. She's just kind of like, oh shit, I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna start complimenting you. You know, this makes it a bit awkward, but I'm gonna, because, you know, eh. And she does that. And then she goes, I like your handwriting. I think it's really pretty. And Bubblegum goes, she's sobbing, and she goes, it's not that. I lost my hat. And then Marcy goes, we'll get you a new hat. And then Bonnie goes, I lost my hat. I lost my home. I lost my people. I can't even get dong varmints out of my pumpkin patch. And then Marcy goes, oh, Bonnie. And like uses that nickname, right? Uses that nickname. And Marcy's kind of watching Bubblegum just kind of break down here. And Bubblegum goes, I tried. I really, really tried. I thought if I just focused on work, then it'd all be okay. And look where that landed me. I pushed everyone away. No, I pushed everything away. Then looks up at Marceline and goes, I pushed you away. I'm sorry, Marceline. I've been a real dinger to you. Oh, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it, Space Enjoyers. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm so upset. I have so much emotion. I have so much emotion evoked in me right now. I have so much emotion, and I'm not. Who says that? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who says that? You know? You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm trying to find a GIF for Bio, whatever. I'm still sticking with Bio. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Let me just find a GIF. I can't think of a good one. I've used like every GIF possible. I swear to it. I'll get. You can have this one. You can have the Taylor Swift one. Anyway, it's so depressing. It's so depressing. Okay, it is so goddamn depressing, right? Because we see Bubblegum for the first time so vulnerable. I'm gonna be real with you. We don't see Bubblegum as vulnerable as we have seen her in this part. And especially because it's with Marceline, I think that hurts her a little bit more, because it's that thing of like being that vulnerable with somebody that you used to love and used to love you, and you're basically admitting how hard you've been struggling, especially something that ruined their relationship, right? It's really sad. It's really sad. Can you stop being so good at reciting these lines and voicing them, because they're making me emotional? I'm sorry. And so basically Marcy goes, hey, what have you got to be sorry for? The thing that makes me sad about this episode, though, is that it is very obvious that Bubblegum didn't realize that she was the reason for them to kind of distance themselves until this episode, because of Bubblegum's reaction to Marceline, right? Going, is that why you stopped talking to me? And then Bubblegum going, what? No. It's so obvious that Bubblegum wasn't aware this entire time that was the reason. Basically meaning it was all miscommunication for hundreds of fucking years. Because I'm assuming, in my eyes, this is the way I see it, Bubblegum would have thought, Bubblegum thought basically that they kind of distanced themselves. Bubblegum was focusing on work. Marceline was doing her rock stuff as well as like other things. Marceline was a very angsty teenager as well as angsty just in general, doing her own thing, right? And then when it's at this point when where Bubblegum realizes that she did distance herself from Marceline to focus on her own stuff, but Marceline never realized that because Marceline, at the end of the day, Marceline just wanted to be loved. And sadly, Bubblegum's focus was always working on the Candy Kingdom, Marceline. But for Marceline, it was Bubblegum. And that's what makes it really sad. It makes it really sad. And then obviously when she goes like, I thought if I just focused on work, it would all be okay. I pushed you away. I'm sorry, Marceline. And it's like that's when she finally apologizes for everything. I've analyzed this relationship so goddamn much. I'm not even kidding, guys. This Bubbline is the one couple or like fictional couple that I will never get over. I'll never get rid of it. It will always be in my brain. It will always be on my little brain like a little worm because I've watched every single scene so many goddamn times. I can recite their entire goddamn discography and it pisses me off because I love them so much. I love them. Do you know the lines written down? No, I just know them. Guys, I've watched this so many times. I've watched this so many times. I'm not kidding. With the guys, with the Varmints episode, I can literally recite it all. It's terrible, right? It's so bad. Basically, now we're gonna get to the end of the episode. After that happens, they tear through Bubblegum's tag, which is I think is a really good kind of thing they did, like a metaphor, because it's kind of like they've now kind of grown from that, and they it's like they don't need it anymore, and they tear through it because they need to get out. They get up to the top. This is a very sad scene, right? They're sitting down. And Bubblegum hands Marceline an apple, and obviously Marceline only eats red, so she does it. She throws it away, and Bubblegum looks really disheveled. Bubblegum sits down. She's not looking at Marceline. Marceline's looking at her, but she's not looking at Marceline. And she goes, "I'm crazy tired, Marceline. I think I have been for a while." And in that moment, we realize that Bubblegum isn't this strong character, and she's kind of starting to not give up, but it is a very sad moment. And basically what happens is Marcy's like, it's fine, I'll take over, I'll look after the pumpkin patch for tonight. And Bubblegum goes, okay, just don't let me sleep too long. And she basically goes, just wake me up in 5 minutes. And she goes, and she's like, okay, I will. And it basically pans out then, and it's all quiet. All you can hear is the stars. All you can hear is the crickets. And it pans out, and it's just Bubblegum like sleeping on Marceline. Oh, and it's such a beautiful moment. It's such a beautiful moment. I will never get over it. I'm crazy tired, Marceline. I think I have been for a while. It's so beautiful. It's so sad. So sad. It will always stay with me. That line. And then basically, so now after Varmints, then we have obviously Stakes. I already referenced Stakes to you guys, which is why I think in Stakes we have that moment, that really, really vulnerable moment, right, with Bubblegum and Marceline. And obviously the whole thing, like they at that point they've kind of not communicated. They've communicated enough. And then we have Stakes, and obviously we have the moment where Marceline's kind of like, I don't want to be immortal anymore, and I think that scares Bubblegum because it's like, oh shit, in that kind of way. And then we move on to there was a lot of like, oh my god, we move on to the Crown episode. The Crown episode, where it is referenced multiple times that Bubblegum and Marceline are on a date. Basically, in the Crown episode, it is like trying to fix Ice King's crown. I'm not gonna mention Ice King and the Simon drama. I'm gonna leave that for another time because I wanna do an entire space dedicated to Marceline and Simon, right? So I'm just gonna mention that they're fixing Ice King's crown. And basically Marceline's poking fun and is like, thank you for coming to this with me. And they're both it's very, very insinuated they're on a date. And you guys gotta remember, okay, Ice King is Marceline's father figure. I'll explain that more in the space of just Marceline. They go over to there, and basically it's like bringing your girlfriend home to your parents. It's like that kind of thing. And even Bubblegum goes. My favorite thing in this episode is when Bubblegum Bubblegum goes. They're joking around, right? And Bubblegum goes, "No way, girlfriend," and it's so good because they obviously put that in there because obviously that can be situated like, oh my god, girlfriend, like that kind of like, joking tone. But the fact they put it in there in the episode where they're literally going on a date technically to Marceline's father figure's house. Hello? Hello? You know what I mean? Gay people! Oh, I love that, Mara. Thank you. Hello, you know what I mean? So gay. So goddamn gay. And basically, right? The entire episode is basically a lot of joking things. And basically, in the episode, Simon goes, "Oh, Simon doesn't really know how to talk to Marceline. It's been a very long time since they've spoken to each other." And Simon goes, "So, you got a boyfriend yet?" And it pans to Marceline with bubblegum behind her. And Marcy looks away, looks back, and goes, "Haha, no!" In that tone. I'm gonna repeat the tone. No, bitch, you're gay. You're gay, all right? It's such a good moment because it's literally the moment of like being too afraid to be like, I have a girlfriend, not a boyfriend, but I'm just gonna say no, that I don't have a boyfriend because technically I don't. I have a girlfriend. Such a good moment. And me, Aimsey went bubbly. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, vulnerability plays a major role in Bubblin's friend relationship. Like exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's such a beautiful moment. Um there's like, oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good, dude. Um it's so good. And basically, so that episode happens. And now I'm gonna skip to the final episode, guys. So the final episode we have, it is a very good episode. Basically, Bubblegum is going to war. The Candy Kingdom's going to war. Well, no, everyone, the land of Ooh is going to war. I should have actually reiterated. And basically, what happens is, I'm not going to spoil this too much. I'm going to mention this more in the space I'm going to do next with Marceline's past, which is very heavy, centered to this point. But basically, they're talking about war, and Marceline really isn't a fan of it. And at this point, I like to think they're dating again at this point, or they're about to because of something that happens soon. Basically, they pull her aside. Marcy pulls Bubblegum aside after they have a huge meeting about this war, and basically Marcy's kind of like Marcy basically tells her to be careful, and she's like, I've seen this happen before because obviously she's been in the Mushroom War, and she's like, and I just don't want it to happen again, basically. And it's very sad. It's a very sad moment. And Bubblegum kind of is just like, I'll be careful, and that's kind of basically it. And then Bubblegum goes, talk later, okay? And it's such a cute moment. And another moment we get with this episode, right? Now, baby boys. Hey, listen up, chatters, listen up, Aimsters, listen up, gamers. I need you guys to hold on to your horses because this is where we're gonna talk about the real moment, okay? Ironically, right? Varmints for me is like the best Bubbling episode, but obviously this is the episode where they become canon, so we're gonna get more into it. Basically, what would it be, guys? If I had a podcast where I just talk about cartoon lore, what would it be called? Basically, guys. So, in this episode, there is a moment The war happens, by the way, guys. The war happens. I'm gonna do a separate space talk about Finn as well, Finn and Finn's relationship, because it breaks my heart every single time I think about it. I'm gonna start crying thinking about it, but it's fine. Basically, there's a moment where Bubblegum gets stomped on, right? And from Marceline's view, Bubblegum gets like killed. Bubblegum gets really hurt, right? Not killed, but like really hurt, because all you can see is this monster like going like just pounding on Bubblegum, right, with their fist. But in Bubblegum's view, Bubblegum has a force field around it, right? And it's basically very, 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 very cute, right? It's very, 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 very like not very cute. Okay, it's hard to explain. The force field goes around, and Marceline, from her point of view, sees that Bubblegum's just being crushed, and then goes Marcy and screams, right? And basically, Marcy, this moment's very important because basically, if you guys don't know, Marceline has power because when she kills the vampires, she gets whatever power they possess. And a big example of this is in she's able to transform, right? She's able to transform. And what she does, it shows a graphic of her transforming, but it comes from the heart. When every other time she's transformed, it just happens, but this one comes from the heart, which shows it's a very like it's a reaction of like love, where it comes from heart of like pain. And she transformed into this big monster. She tackles the thing that's attacking Bubblegum. She's out of breath. She's like out of breath, and she's like doesn't want to look around because she doesn't want to go see Bubblegum, who she thinks is like really hurt or dead. And then all she hears is Bubblegum go, Marcy? And Marcy turns and goes, Bonnie! And she flies to her. And then she goes, and they have a really cute conversation. And basically like, I thought you were, and then it's a very, very, very cute. And it's like, it's it's so cute. Oh my god, wait, hold on. I'm gonna try and find the clip because I want to link the clip. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me when I tab out? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Just scrolling, having a bit of scrolling. Having a bit of scrolling. Having a bit of scrolling. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I hope you guys can. I'm trying to find the clip. Does anybody have the clip that they can link for me? Hold on. Wait, is this it? No. No. Wait. No, this is it. Okay. Okay. I got it. So, yeah, there we go. So, basically, guys, look at this. So, basically, in this moment, we see Bubblegum. Well, no, Marceline thinks that she's lost her, right? And this is the defining moment for their relationship where we figure out everything. Because when Marceline goes straight into her, she hugs her, and she grabs her, and she goes, even when we weren't talking, I was afraid that something bad would happen to you, and I wouldn't be able to be there to protect you, and I don't want to lose you again. Bro, I will end everything right now. I will. You can't say that to me, Marcy. You can't say that to me. Oh, and it's so depressing because it's in that moment that we see, like, basically, that we see Marceline is all Marceline ever wanted to do was to protect her. All Marceline ever wanted to do was to protect Barnabelle, Bubblegum. And when they weren't talking, when Bubblegum, Marceline, right? Marceline thought that she was getting shut out from Bubblegum. And in my idea, it's like all Marceline ever wanted to do was protect Bubblegum because, she was hers and she wanted to protect her. And in my eyes, I see it as when Bubblegum started phasing her out, Marceline thought that she was just too much. And, she was overbearing and all that. And that's why then Marceline pulled away too. And it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Even back when we weren't talking, I was always afraid something would happen to you, and I wouldn't be there to protect you. Oh, I'll die. And then everyone, and then it's very sad. It's literally the moment of that, like the only time where Marceline like did her true feelings from actually admitting it. Because obviously Marceline struggles with vulnerability because of her past. There's a lot that went on. And so Marceline finally like said it, like, even when we weren't talking, I was always afraid something bad was going to happen to you. And obviously that's the true feeling of like the moment you think you're going to lose someone, you're going to be honest. And then Bonnie goes, hey, I'm a tough gum. Nothing never happening to me ever. And then Marcy goes, I know girl, you phrase that so weird. And then Bonnie goes, I think I have a concussion. And they both laugh and then they kiss. And it is the cutest kiss in the world. It's such a cute little kiss. It's so cute. It's such a cute moment. Oh, it's so fucking. Ah, it's so cute. It's so fucking cute. They kiss, and after that, there's like a scene where they're like they're drinking cups of hot cocoa, and they're like cuddling, and it's like they're back together. I'm not gonna talk about distant lands in this space. Guys, purely because distant lands. I need to. Okay, the thing with distant lands, guys, is I need to do that on a stream. I'm gonna do that with the alt stream because I need to use clips to explain, because there is so much in distant lands that I need to actually show you guys that I can then interpret, because there's a lot of looking, there's a lot of like eyesight, there's a lot of basically distant lands, guys, is the episode where everything that I basically said is very solidified. But yeah, that's basically it. I love gay people. I love them. Their relationship, I think, in my opinion, their relationship is built on miscommunication. We see Marceline basically distance themselves from Bubblegum. In my opinion, I think it is a case of Bubblegum got so disheveled. I do think it was a case of Marcy kind of went back and could have seen that, but basically, out of like, it's one of those things where you can only help someone so much, and having to see somebody that you love kind of, one, you're not their priority anymore, and two, you see what it's doing to them. It's very difficult, and that's why Marceline had to pull back so much as she did. And then obviously even Marceline was getting ignored, which we see in Distant Lands, by the way. It's very obvious that is the reason it gets very prominent. But it's very sad. I just like, Bonnabelle Bubblegum, always so prepared. Yeah, I have to be always so prepared. You can't all just wing it. And I think that's a very good moment. Oh my god, yeah, that moment too, guys. Look what I just retweeted. I mean, look what I just think. This is when I did it. So I think we're gonna do Distant Lands. We're gonna do Distant Lands on an alt stream. But yeah, did you guys enjoy my space? Be honest. I'll do the alt stream soon, guys. Did you guys enjoy the Bubbline space? Be honest. I'm crazy tired, Marceline. I think I have been for a while. Oh, my poor baby. It's not that. I lost my hat. We'll get you a new hat. I lost my hat. I lost my home. I lost my people. I can't even keep dog varmints out of my pumpkin patch. Oh, Bonnie. I tried. I really, really tried. I just thought if I focused on work, then it'd all be okay. And look where that landed me. I pushed everything away. I pushed you away. I'm sorry, Marceline. I've been a real dinger to you. Oh! My tornado. Is that Alex? Alex! You're alive! Alex, please stay safe. Alex! Stay safe, please. Alex! I haven't seen you in ages. Alex, how you doing? Please stay safe. Little voices. Why would you mention the word priority? My bad. My bad. My bad. Listen, the real Bubbline law. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm the one to tell you this, but you're not my priority anymore, Marceline. um, but yeah, that's basically that's the space, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not even kidding. I talk about them every like I talk about. I just I really love Bubbling so much. I really do. I really do. Um, I will talk about them forever. I probably will talk about them again soon, and I'll probably do another space just like this one. But yeah, okay, right. I'm probably gonna post a lot of Bubbling. Guys, on my second account, Aimsey 2, I'm gonna post a lot of Bubbling photos on there. Okay, all right. Okay, everyone do a little waving emoji. I'm gonna head out now because I just spoke for like an hour about Bubbling and I loved it. It was great. Thank you guys. I want to say massive thank you guys for just letting me ramble about things sometimes. It really is nice. I really like that you guys enjoy when I ramble about these things. It's really cute. Um, it's really cute. But yeah, okay. Everyone do little waving emojis. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out. It's been great, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna be on my second account posting about Bubbling. All right, so I'll see you there. All right, bye guys. Thank you for hanging out. I love you guys. Bye. 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 Everyone. Bye. 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 Bye.